Hello, everybody. Hi. Well, thank you. I think everybody's mouth is full. That's why. Well, welcome to Staff Focus. My name is Ruben Perez. I'm the Staff Council President for this year. Really been enjoying it. So I want to thank you all for joining us this springtime, right when graduation just finished and kids aren't here, students aren't here, but I know that you are happy and sad at the same time, but not having them here. And the traffic, whoo, the traffic. All right, so this is Staff Focus. So the time that we get together so you would know what's going on the campus and what we've been working on through Staff Council and what has been going on in other departments and colleges and stuff on this campus. So we want to, invite you, enjoy the snacks and fruit and cookies back there that we have for you all. But this is a time for us to be able to listen, to be able to learn what's going on, learn what new initiatives about to happen, and how you can get involved with Staff Council as well. Because without the members of that's members right now, a lot of this stuff would not be happening. So you're going to hear about accomplishments and other stuff today. But without further ado, we have our first speaker today. Our first speaker, she does not need a real big introduction because you know her well, but she is one that does everything and does a lot for us, from not only on our campus but to the system as well. So I would like to introduce your president, your chancellor, Renu Khator.
Well, hello, everybody. How are you doing? Good. Well, you all look happy, chirpy. That's good. Well, let's see where to start. If I seem a little off today, there's a reason for it. Today is exactly 14 days since my back surgery. And I'm here, though, standing in front of you because of my commitment, because I wanted to be here. So, I'm not going to overdo it, but this is not overdoing it, right? So I'm okay. They just did a spinal lumbar, fusion surgery, so it's kind of scary stuff, but that's okay. It's from all those standing for commencements and all those receptions and all of those stuff, the good stuff. Well, so let's talk a little bit about a few things, and rest of it, you just ask me questions because I'm not so sure. I know exactly what kind of issues to discuss with you. But we just finished commencements, and we are very close to 10,000 students graduating in a year. I mean, almost 10,000. When I go out, I keep telling people whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. We are the big kahunas here. I mean, we are the 800-pound gorilla in Houston because look at the volume. And if any point in time you have to compare, you can always compare thinking this way, that the Rice University's entire student body is 6,500, and we're graduating 10,000. And our students are going to stay right here in Houston. So Houston has to pay attention. And even if they don't pay attention, we have an obligation because our future is here. And therefore, I keep saying, it doesn't matter what you expect. I'm always thinking what kind of a university, city of Houston, fourth largest city in the United States of America, needs. So we continue to move forward. Right now, our enrollment, everything is looking good. But as you know, we're building a new campus in Katy. Next week, we are going to break ground there. And that campus is going to be a 8,000 student campus. 4,000 of those students will be from UH Victoria, and 4,000 of those students will be from University of Houston. Two will run parallelly. The University of Houston is going to bring their engineering programs there because there's an engineering corridor there. Then Sugar Land is entirely University of Houston campus now. 10,000 students is the vision for that campus, and we're just putting a building in Katy, we're just putting a building in Sugar Land, and we just have to have the programming there that's needed. And sometimes people say, well, why are we going all over? It's a very good question. You could stay in one place, but the reality has changed so much. I mean, we are a state. We are not a city anymore. I mean, we are a state. And if you are a state, you have to figure it out. For people to drive for two hours can be just too much. I mean, it could be a barrier in them thinking, do I go to college or do I not go to college? But you offer online, and you do offer a lot, and actually half of our students end up taking some online class. So it's not that we are not doing all of that, but the entire online may not be very desirable either. So people should have an option. So therefore, I mean, you can look at any of the hospitals, you can look at the medical school. I mean, everybody's kind of branching out as their front doors at different places, but you will always have the meat of your institution and organization at one location. So your research place is going to be this, your professional programs, your doctoral programs, that's all going to be on this campus. The reason I'm bringing that is with the future growth in enrollment, even though you will see the numbers going up from 45,600 that we have now to 46,000 to 47,000 to 50,000, the growth is going to come in Katy and Sugar Land, not so much here, because I think here, more or less, we are kind of at a capacity in terms of the physical infrastructure. Until public transportation changes in Houston, we are always going to have challenge about parking. I know it's a huge challenge for our students. That's their #1 problem, and no matter how fast we run, we'll have to just run faster because we can never provide facility and opportunity for them. Of course, you can do things that other universities do, which is make freshman freshman cars disallowed. However, think about it, we just don't have public transportation for freshmen to even come here from Monday through Friday if that's what they want to be here. So you can't just simply do that kind of thing either. And then until we get our neighborhood here revitalized, re-engaged, repurposed in the sense that to be a tier 1 neighborhood, I think we're always going to struggle as to where our students are going to be, where our faculty and staff are going to be. So one of our goals is to make sure that our neighborhood gets revitalized, re-energized, economy becomes better, and we do all of that without displacing the people in the neighborhood, because otherwise, anybody can come and do it. So the value of the university is if you can re-engage in a way that the displacement doesn't happen. So we're doing a lot of program. I don't know if you know, but College of Business runs a boot camp for small businesses, and they take 12, 15 candidates each time and let them go through this small business camp. And the idea is that we can have more small businesses there. We're trying to attract 2 or 3 anchor businesses, and we are not alone. I mean, there are hospitals with us, there's TSU with us, there are Houston Endowment, Kinder Foundation, trying to see if we can bring 2 or 3 anchor businesses, each one with at least 100 jobs, and that will help, revitalizing the neighborhood. And then, as you know, education is the key foundation, no matter what you do. So the schools have to get better. So our College of Education is taking a lead there. It's not an easy pull, it's a very hard pull, but you got to do those hard things sometime. The other thing that you're probably hearing quite a bit is about the medical school. So let me just address and give you a few words about that. So medical school is on track to come here in 2020. We don't have the legislative approval at this point. We will be going to the legislature in 2019. But from everything that we see, from governor to lieutenant governor to delegation, everybody is very much in favor of it because of our focus. Our focus is mental health, our focus is primary care, our focus is community health. Things that are not being done right now, so people see that that is a huge gap, and that's why we have Texas Medical Center, we have all of the medical schools, and we have all of the hospitals very much in favor of what we are doing here. The city is in favor, the Greater Houston Partnership is in favor. 2019, which is a year before the medical students will come in, we will start the residency program, which is extremely critical, because if you don't have residency program, you are unlikely to keep doctors in that location. Doctors generally are wherever the residency is. So that's what we attacked first. Bottom line, just in terms of communication, is that it is a $500 million proposal. So it's not something that you can just lightly take and say, oh, let's just go build a medical school. For us, it's going to take anywhere from $450 million to $500 million. When I have a range and it's about expense, I just go to the higher one, right? So let's say that it's going to be $500 million proposal here. The majority of the funding is coming from private sector. If $340 million is coming entirely from the private sector for this purpose. We are going to the legislature for $40 million, and that's what we'll be asking them to give us as a startup cost, which, in terms of return, is really a great deal, and that's why people really like it. It's going to be a completely separate budget item in the sense we just don't want to mingle funds, because my fellow presidents, who I've talked to several who have started medical schools, they say this one thing: you just make sure the medical school is one of those beasts. It can just suck up your money, suck up your funds, and can make your institution poor, so you put a wall in between so that the money doesn't cross over. So we have done that, because you got to live in your own means. We have absolutely, I mean, it is not possible. We already have enough obligations, enough students to teach. So that's the premise of it. The research is, the bench research is going to be still in NSM and pharmacy and optometry and engineering, wherever it is. We're going to focus on population health type of research, which means obesity, substance abuse, mental health, behavioral issues, things that are very, very critical and things that where we have great strength here. And we can synergize. So that's our medical school. I just don't see until, in 2019, if we have put all of these pieces together, we have got all $460 million, and we have $40 million, the last piece left from the legislature. I just hope that, everything will go smoothly, and I hope Tillman Fertitta stays as board chair, right? I mean, all of those pieces are important. We'll probably need your help if the time comes. So that's kind of, that's an important piece over there. Let me just address very quickly the student success piece, because for 10 years I've been just student success, and so on. It's really quite heartening to see where we are at this point. This year we graduated as a freshman cohort, so not transfer students, because we still take half transfers and half freshmen. Out of all the freshman students that we took 6 years back, who graduated right now, actually 4 years back, just 4 years back, who graduated this time, 1,800 plus were in UHN 4 program there. Think about that. And even out of all the freshmen who graduated this time as a cohort, 2/3 of them finished their degree in 4 years or less. So this is no longer the kind of school where you kind of you can say, well, it's a commuting school. We take pride in students who commute. I mean, that's what we should be doing. We are in this great city. Why not? Stay at your home. If you can do that, why not? However, the point is the University of Houston is for everybody. You have a student who graduated at 19-year-old. You have somebody who graduated at 68. It's never too late, never too early. Actually, I think he was even more than 68. I don't know who the oldest one, 70-something, 76 or something. So it's never too late on that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the bigger challenge in higher education that we are facing. Probably every month you can, if you are paying attention to it, you can look at every month there are universities that are shutting down. Not the big ones, not the public ones yet, but the private, small liberal arts school, many have folded. And the reason they have folded is because the tuition is where it is. They can't market it any more than where it is. However, the finances just aren't working. And there are a lot of pressures coming from federal government in terms of international students, in terms of Pell Grants, in terms of unpredictability of DACA, and so many other things. There are a lot of pressures coming from different states. We have been still very fortunate, and compared to other states, there are a lot of pressures coming about not spending for higher education. Why? Because by the time people spend on the things that they are constitutionally required, like public education, like health, you just don't have much money left for higher education, so that gets squeezed every time. You look at all of these things, plus you look at your disruptive technologies coming, which is either online or simply saying we don't need a degree, you can just take certificates, you can just take modules, all of that coming. I don't know if you have ever heard, but there's an organization called Greener Line or Straighter Line, something like that, a Straighter Line. They are offering first 2 years of all credit hours completely free. So you don't even have to enroll in first year and second year of college. You just go online, you take every credit hour for free. Why you can't do that right now? Because universities won't take your credits, even though you've passed them, and you pass them from institutions or professors who are credited. But I just think about a day when one of the governments in the state government decides and says, oh, we'll accept that. We don't have to pay for it that way. Now you think about what that could mean for titanic shift for higher education. So we have to prepare over next 10 years how to create a value for the product and the experience that we offer that cannot be replaced, that cannot be disrupted, that can be, if it is disrupted, it can still remain its core mission. Because if you don't have that, then sooner or later it's going to happen what has happened to many other industries. You can look at news and print and so on and so on. So the challenges for higher education are not getting lesser, they are getting far more. And I know in your daily life, probably you're not thinking about it. Of course, I'm thinking about it because I'm in those national organizations where we sit down, we plan a strategy, we go lobby the Congress, we go lobby here and there. So to me, that is quite worrisome. Let's leave all of that aside. Let's just talk about our own challenges. Your board is going to meet next week. On Thursday is a Board of Regents meeting. We have 2 new Board of Regents members. 1 more will be appointed, given to us. So we'll have then hopefully entire board. But if not, we have 8 Board of members. This is an important meeting, always in May. And the reason it's an important meeting is because this is the time that we take budget to the board and board passes the budget. And in that budget is how we are going to spend the money. So Friday, the budget will be posted. You can go take a look at it. We have put in here a merit pool for all faculty and staff, and it's probably going to be used the same way as we used it last time, because I don't look at the procedures and all, but there is a 2% merit pool that will be used for, to reward. And my argument to the board will be, I know we are constantly cutting costs, and we want to do, more for less. Nonetheless, meritorious work has been done, and merit is deserved. So I think that's going to be the premise. Other than that, there isn't that much on this particular board agenda now. Everything is going to just shift and come in August. A couple of things I wanted to thank, actually Joan is here. I wanted to thank her, and I wanted to thank the whole division for putting up the program. I've been saying that it's important for me that we have bench strength. You cannot run and win games if you don't have bench strength. All you have are your 5 players, you put them on the court, and you don't have your 6th to 10th player, you know what's going to happen. The other team is going to just run you out in terms of stamina. You just cannot win. We need to have our bench strength here, which means we need to groom and develop the next layer of leadership. And we can't depend every time from outside. We got to depend from our own, groom from our own. So I challenged Joan that we need to have a leadership program, and I had many other things, and after that, I kind of let my eyes go off of that because I was looking at a few other things, and all of a sudden, Joan comes one day, she says, here's the program, and we're starting, and the whole program went through, and I think it has been a huge success. So we'll continue to do something of that time so that we can have leadership, because it's not about just your next promotion. Some of you may not be, you may decide that's not even the job for you, or you may not get promoted, but it's about how effective you can be in your job, how happy you can be in your job. We are I've been also looking for fit, compassionate campus. That has been my other thing. How do we have a campus that is fit, but that's also compassionate? How we feel. We want to be here. We like one another. And one of the important things, of course, is fit. I said one day I probably will do some yoga class or something at Cullen Plaza or something. I think now that my back is back in order, I think we might do that too. But it's been excruciating pain for 2 years, but that's okay. I can put a smile on my face even when I have pain. There's no point complaining because you got to take your own pain anyway. So I think we are going to be doing a few more things there that you will see as to what do we do about fitness, what do we do about compassion. And a couple other things that you will see going on, which are right now become very important to me, and one of them is budget transparency. I want to make sure I get budget that everybody can understand because it's so convoluted, not just ours, but the state. How do you get funding formula? What do you get for what and how and all of that? And then what do you do internally? Who gets what, why, and how? I'm going to try to get some sense and reason in it, and let's see if I can bring some rationality and transparency to it, because you got to figure it out. You have to look very business mind here. The reason is the state is not paying for all of it, right? We are running like a business here. The state pays only a small portion. You have to look at what is the cost of your product. I mean, when you produce something, here what we produce is degree, or we produce knowledge, what is the cost of doing it? And then you have to look at it as to what is the market value for it. And then you've got to combine the two, because you can't simply pretend that let the cost be whatever it is, somehow the market is going to keep up with it, because market may not keep up with it. Actually, it's reaching a point that people may decide whether we go for education or we don't go for college education. So I think it becomes important. And so you're going to see a lot more of that here during this summer. I'm hoping that I can do this since I've kind of put some other projects on the side and let other vice chancellors do it. I can focus exactly on this, because I want to be ready by the time next legislative session comes with a lot more transparency and a lot more efficiency. One thing that I also have in mind, and Joan has never heard of it, so today she's the first time she's going to hear for it, and that is I want to see wherever you all are and whatever your field is and whatever you're doing, I know that you constantly think about it and say, why do we do what we do? It makes no sense. Sometimes you say, I bet you we could do it better this way. In other words, you are an innovator of your own, and you have those innovative ideas. I don't know those because I'm not in your shoes. How can we use your innovative ideas for the benefit of the organization? So in other words, just inserting that innovative spirit all the way through, let it flow and let it figure it out, ideas that truly make a difference. So we're going to figure it out how to do that, how to provide some of those channels so that you're thinking as you sit there and frustrated either, or saying, I know I can improve it. Well, I want to know those things. But of course, if you know how I can do my job better, always tell me that too, because I'm always ready for that. Nobody knows everything. I'm here 10 years and I learn new things and I say, really? I had no idea we did it this way. But, it happens anyway. Okay, on a couple of final comments, thank you for your contributions, your engagement with the Capital Campaign. I mean, we are $830 million now, a few more dollars to go. We finish $1 billion campaign here. And can't happen without you because, everything else is fine. Students, of course, they are coming, they're going, they're getting something from here. Faculty, they're very important. But the volume and the support that do is us, the support people, the staff people. So they never, ever underestimate, never undervalue the role that you play. In your own space, whatever you're doing, you can be a leader in your own space. You don't have to have the title of president. There are plenty of presidents who are presidents but not leaders. Leadership is really when you can make a group go at a point where they didn't think they could go. It is all about that pushing that extra. If you can be leader in your own space as long as you're doing that. So never think about it that you can make a difference. All of the things that have happened at the university in 10 years have happened because you felt some point in time, somewhere you could make a difference, and you are making a difference. We are doing quite well athletically. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably get all of the news about athletics. I realize when I tweet about academics, it doesn't make any flow. It's okay, 5,000 people might read it. But then when I send something athletically, 80,000 people read it. It's amazing, But right now we have already won 5 conference championships, and we are looking at the 6th one in baseball. I mean, we definitely have championship. The question is, are we going to be the sole champions, or are we going to be sharing the title? And then our teams are going and playing in NCAA. Your track and field. Days of Carl Lewis are back. He's our coach now, and both men and women, they are both going for national championships. So just watch. Fertitta Center will open in December. It's going to be awesome, absolutely awesome facility. And then football, of course, will start. my expectations from athletics have been very easy and simple. I'm sure you'll agree. And that is, we got to be playing in New Year's bowl game once every 3 years. I'm not saying every year. I'm just saying once every 3 years. What does that mean? If you win your own championship in your own conference, American Athletic, which you should be able to, if you win that, you are playing in the New Year's bowl game. So, so I'm saying this is my 3rd year. Give me my New Year's bowl game. Well, let's see if it happens. But then I say for basketball, we got to be playing in NCAA tournament every single year. Not just like 1 year we've just played this year, every year. And every 4th year, we ought to be in Sweet 16. Not too much, but at least our expectations, right? And as for baseball, I don't know if any of you have been to the World Series. I've heard it's a great experience. I haven't been there. I have been getting invitation every single time, and I said, no, I'm bringing my own team. So we haven't done that. We need to go to Omaha, to the World Series baseball team. And that's my expectation. These 3 at least I have set aside. If we're going to invest in athletics, we got to get our return out of it. So let's just hope we continue to have good year, good success. If you want to know more about construction, I'll be happy to tell you what's happening there, but there's a lot of constructions coming around here too. And one of the decisions that's going to come, and I keep asking everybody for advice, if you have any advice, let me know that too, because we're going to be putting a medical school building, right? And that building's funding is there because the legislature 2 sessions back gave the funding, so we have the funding to build the building. The question is, do we put the building here, right next to optometry pharmacy? Do we put the building in Texas Medical Center where our pharmacy building was, which is a pretty prime location, or do we put it on 3rd location, which is called Texas TMC 3? That's where Texas A&M, UT, and Baylor are putting 3 buildings, and whether we put the 4th tower, ours, over there. I don't know right now. We're doing a study. If you think you have any suggestion on it, I'm happy to take it from you. So at this point, let me stop and let me see what's on your mind, and I can probably address some questions, some answers for you. I know a couple of things you had asked. I just now remember I forgot. You asked about something related to the tuition, right? There's some things here. Oh, okay. All right, let's take a look at it. UH system goals and any long-term plans that may affect the staff at UH, I think I told you. Katie, Sugar Land, I don't know if there's anything else that will affect you. Possible increase for staff tuition from 1 class. Is it 1 class? Is 6 credit hours?
From 1 class
to full coverage.
full coverage.
Okay. Here's your person right here. All right, but I can tell you my philosophy. This is an educational institution. I'd like to find a way, if we can, to be able to give the benefit that we are in core mission of. I strongly support, I strongly believe in it. You have aspiration for your degree, we should look into it. This is the year we'll be looking at different tuition pricing again, because it's been 5 years since we looked at the tuition pricing and we came up with the new things. So if it is not where 10 people get the benefit and 1,000 people pay for it, as long as it's a fairly good, well-distributed, I think, benefit, I think we should definitely look at it. And as long as we are not penalized by the state, because every state has a different kind of policy. Merit raises, I told you already, it's there. How does Power Up, Employee Worksite Wellness Initiative? I think Joan knows about that, so she can tell you a little bit more about it. Her thoughts on improving staff morale. Well, I thought there is a survey going on too, right? Culture survey, we are doing that too. But you tell me, when your organization becomes a 10,000 people organization, people find their own way to believe in what they believe. If you believe, and I serve on one, I serve on a $1 trillion organization's board, and I can tell you, if we believe that we don't have a good morale, it's not a good place to work, we'll keep stewing in it constantly, and we'll just create more and more of that. If we believe that's a great place to work, after all, I'm working here, meaning each one of you working here, how can you be here and the organization not be good, right? Just you being here, you enrich it, you make it better. And if we feel that way, we promote it that way, whatever are the faults, we will look at those as opportunities. Glass is half empty at every single organization. The question just becomes are we looking at that half empty piece and crying over it, or we looking at half full and saying, let's just inch it up. Let's see, inch it up. I would love to inch it up, whatever we can do. So I know Joan is my partner in crime, and she is going to be here, but if you have specific suggestions, I'll be very happy to hear. Tell me what we can do, because, you know, don't forget that. My title may be president or whatever, but I am a staff too. So it's in my interest too, whatever I do for you. Okay. All right. Any questions from anybody? Or are you just going to take it easy on me because I'm 2 weeks out of my surgery? Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. All right, one more time for President Couture. Yes. So I want to go into talking about, a change, sorry. Staff council and some of our accomplishments and some of the things that we did and some of the new initiatives. It's going to be hard to see, so if you can see it, you can see it. I'm not going to try to read everything for you, but I'm going to try to get through it so we can get to your other speakers as well. So getting involved, as you see up there, so to get involved, just knowing who we are. Staff council, as you see, is an advisory board. We're ones who are trying to make recommendations and try to get stuff to the president and other individuals on this campus, especially administrative and finance. So we like to gather, and we like to come together to have those ideas. What President Couture is saying, if you have them, if you have that innovation, if you have those ideas, you should be coming to those meetings, as you see there, first Thursday of every month, from 1:30 to 3:30, to share your ideas, share what you have. It's not where you want to, it's not a complaint session, it's not an session, all right? You know I'm getting that. But it's a place where we can talk and we can get together and figure things out and possibly propose things. So that's one of the ways you could get involved. If you want to be one, I mean, every single year I've been here, I think I've been in staff council for like 4 years now, this is like the most that we get at a meeting. Staff focus, and then the one that we have earlier in the fall. So really, if you want to have input, if you want to have a say, as she just said, we have power. We got to use our power. We got to let her know and let everyone else know. And then we have to empower ourselves to be able to do the things that we want. So again, and not only are the first Thursdays, but then you have committees. If you get on staff council, there's different committees that we're on. We have staff council committees, which I'll tell you a little bit about and some of the accomplishments. But then we are system-wide. We're not system, but university-wide, over like 20 different committees that we are on. And that's key. So before I continue, I just really fast, if anybody that's on staff council right now that's an elected member, could you please stand up and show who you are, wave. Look at that. Look at that, people. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, there we got one in the back. So so we're here. I mean, if I let them come up and tell the story, they had to tell some good stories, some bad, whatever. They're going to tell you why they're on staff council and what they want to do. But these university committees that we're on parking, we're on food, we're on CLC, we're on rec, we're on all these different committees that you can have a voice, that we have a voice on. We always want to have staff voice on everything that's going on. You may always hear faculty, 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 faculty. Okay, it's great, yes. We need teachers and professors. Some of you may be instructors or adjunct faculty. Staff is very important as well, and we got to get what we need out there to everyone on campus. So this is one of the ways we could do it, is by, when we're getting involved. Elections are coming up. So if you want to be on staff council, if you want to write yourself, nominate yourself, if you want to nominate somebody else, as you see here, we have elections June 8th through July 18th. It's coming up. It's a 3-year term. You come on, you get 3 years. Some of you in here have come on board and you are finishing a term and then you have to re-elect. I'm glad you want to continue to do that. But if you get on right now, it's a 3-year term that you'll be on. Okay? And then that's when you have that chance to start telling your story or bringing your voice to the campus and to everybody else, and so they can hear. I know there's a lot of complaints that go on out there and y'all don't want to speak and no one wanted to ask this question just now. I would have. I was giving it up to y'all. That's why the president's here. She wants to hear everything from you. Even you out there watching on the computer right now, type your questions and email her. Email me so we can get them out to where we need to get them to. But again, elections are coming up, and please, if you're very interested, please try to get to it. So some of the accomplishments, I'm not going to read them completely. You can read, yes. Okay, so you can read, so I'm not going to just go up here and talk through them so you can see what's going on. But the biggest accomplishment is by being a staff council member, is being on the council as staff. All the volunteer hours that each member put in to come in on weekends, doing stuff after night, putting on different events for everybody on campus. It's a lot that goes into not only just going to the first Thursday, but you have like 4 or 5 other meetings that you're going to from all your different committees. So it's a commitment, but it's a great commitment. It's a good commitment. And those are the accomplishments of just being able to be involved with staff council is an accomplishment in itself. One of the things USEC, as you see up there, and the ones I'm going to somewhat read are the first ones here. USEC, this is one that we did this year, and we brought it back. It was here before, and we decided to reconvene. Is having a staff council or staff group from each system university. So we're meeting quarterly to talk about what's going on at other campuses, on our sister or brother campuses, wherever you want to call them. So we're trying to figure out what's going on at UHD, what's going on at Clear Lake, what's going on at Victoria. We meet, we talk. We're trying to pull together an initiative, and I'll talk about it a little bit later. But we've got that group back together this time. Another thing we want to do is state consortium. We have over 27, 28 universities around Texas on this consortium that we have a quarterly call with, trying to figure out what's going on in their universities. You know, we're always trying to benchmark ourselves or always compare ourselves to this university and that university. So now we have the small to the large universities on one call, trying to figure out what is going on at each campus, how we can help each other out. So this consortium is a great thing that we started doing this year, and it's the first time we pulled this together. And so hopefully we can continue that. We have few committees within there talk about flexible workplace and merit and e-performance and all that. I know all of y'all have some e-performance stuff, but we won't get into that right now. Another thing is just the representation that staff council has on a lot of different places on this campus. And we have a reach. We're in there. We're in there. I finally was able to get in there I'm not with President Couture because she's too busy and she's way up there, so I'm not there yet. But I get to go with a right-hand man, you know, Michael Johnson, so I'm able to meet with him, but we get to be there. We have these ends and everywhere that we can be and be able to talk. So one of the other ones is Tax Prep Day. How many use that service? Anybody? Woohoo, we got 2. Wow. But it was for faculty, staff, and students. There was a lot of individuals that went there as 2 days, and that was a free service that if you didn't have a person doing your taxes, you were able to come here to the university to do your taxes. And that was a good thing that was brought on. We think we did that for 2 years now. As you see there, staff affairs have done some stuff. So you're going to see some things, and you're going to hear about Bright Horizons a little bit later. One of the things that we really look at are MAP and SAMs. So things are going to really benefit and really have a change of culture on this university, and that's one of the things that staff affairs and in general be looking at the different policies that we have and how we can change or how we can improve or how we can even propose a new one and change. So those are some things that is happening in staff council. And then, you know, there's a few surveys coming up, and we're going to send one now. So you're going to get over-surveyed this summer. Just want to tell you that. So please take all the surveys that you get, because that information is going to really be used to where we could try to change the culture and propose new MAPs and SAMs and stuff. Events committee, as you see there, we do several events throughout the year to bring the community in and to be able to give to the community as well. So we're not only working for our own university, but we're working within the communities that are around us in the different organizations, so we can really help them out there. We do a lot of collaborations with SGA, the governing body, SGA, and Faculty Senate. So we're involved with those governing bodies as well, and we're on their meetings as well, and be able to put the staff voice there. One thing with, and then as you see there, going to the professional development scholarships, that we are trying to provide and have scholarships for everybody, and increasing scholarships and so forth. And then, like I said earlier, about just being on every single committee, hopefully on this campus. You know, we want to have that voice. We're in there to win it, and we're in there to work for you. And then CFI, 20 years on this campus. That was from staff council. That's a huge deal. How many of you volunteer for CFI? Not bad there. Yeah, give yourself a round of applause. Go ahead, I heard that. Y'all trying to be too political. Y'all trying to be, and we supposed to be relaxed right now, so just chill. Eat that cookie. We still got cookies back there. Sorry for the people out there. There's no cookies for y'all. But it's 20 years is going great. Volunteer email just went out, so if you didn't sign up, please start signing up for that as well. And then they did the first T-shirt design, which was pretty cool. Some of the future initiatives is to continue doing the USAC. We want to have one initiative that we're going to push out there for our whole system. How we're going to do that? We all have like 5 or 6 items on our list, but we want to gel into one. We want to have this one thing and one proposal. We don't know what it is yet. We're still trying to figure out, but we're going to propose that so we can have a full change in the entire system, hopefully. Staff emergency fund was one that was a passion of mine of trying to get that out there. And it's somewhere in the works. We're still trying to figure out where things can happen. They say so we'll leave it at that. So that's an initiative that we're trying to get. So, when Hurricane Harvey, anything that may happen, staff would have a chance to be able to try to get, $200, $300, $400 for critical emergencies. Collaboration with HR for staff engagement and other things of just really bringing that morale, bringing things together, and knowing that we have people behind us, especially HR, coming in and helping out, and that that's one of their big initiatives, and we want to be helping with that and help that out so they can be more engaged, so you can have a more reach on them as well, as they can be helping us and keeping us engaged and keeping us together and stuff, and with information. Another one is the Cougar Kudos. A lot of you may have got Cougar Kudos. It's one of our initiatives of acknowledging the going above and beyond of your fellow colleagues or co-workers. And so what we were going to look at, and this is something that Emily Merrill, which is the president-elect, she's in the back waving. Emily, hey, that's going to be your president next year. No one looked, but that's okay. Thank you for some of you. Thank you for the wave. It was a nice wave. That was that presidential wave. She was like, hey, it's me. Just like the royal wedding this weekend, she's going to probably be like that. Hopefully she'd be like, hey, what's up? I'm here. All right. Y'all don't care. All right, I'm trying to lighten the mood. Jeez, people, y'all just so serious, so serious. All right, so acknowledgement of one of her passions, and just being able to, and as President Couture just saying, she acknowledges everybody and acknowledges us, and thank you, but can we have that continue going throughout the year? What is that one thing? What can we do to always know and say, hey, thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for making the difference. And some of us may not feel like we're doing this sometimes, but till that one student comes by, or that one customer, or that one colleague say, hey, thank you for just taking time out, or thank you for doing this. Yes, we're getting it from there, but not completely university-wide. Another one is that professional development. Yes, it takes us. You have to take it upon yourself to be able to seek it out, but then we would like to have something established so then when you're seeking it out, that there may be some funds that help you with continuing your education or help with that professional development, going to that conference or going this place and that place. Trying to have a program like Advance. Some of you may not know about Advance. I don't want to speak too much about it, but it's a initiative and a grant that was through, who was it? Provost office, right? And helping women and helping increase that involvement of minority women and other stuff in the STEM and the other areas. But it's a way to develop them and help them out, and it'd be nice to have something like that for staff. Having some type of program beyond just the Propel was a great thing that just happened through HR, and that was a leadership training program, and then hopefully more programs like that will eventually come about to where we have those for the professional development. So there's a lot of things that we want to do, and this is just a little snippet. But if you want to be involved and you want to have those ideas, you want to have those innovative ideas and want to have your voice, these are the type of this many people at a meeting would be great. Just to come and say and speak and know every first Thursday of the month. Yes? 1:30, 3:30 on the third floor in there. So if we get crowded and we get pushed out of there, then maybe they'll give us a room ourselves and we can have a bigger meeting. So that is my deal. That I just want to give you a quick update on Staff Council on how to get involved and everything. So are there any questions for me? I did pretty good, huh? All right, thank you. Okay. So coming next, as President Couture is talking about mental health and stuff, so we have a speaker from CAPS, Janet Clemenson. She's going to come up and talk about CAPS and the services she provides. So, boom. Yes, give it up.
Good morning, or afternoon. So yes, I am Janet Clemenson. I am one of the staff therapists at Counseling and Psychological Services. And what I was tasked with today was to refrain from talking too much about the great work we do for students on campus, and we do that, but to focus more today on services that we provide to you all. So that's going to be my main focus today, but I did bring, and at some point I guess I'll set them back there, I did bring a two-sided sheet that kind of summarizes the services for faculty and staff as well as the services that we provide to our students. The first and maybe most important to you all is that we are able to serve staff and faculty in a counseling capacity once. Okay, so what that means is that we can see you, we have a walk-in system right now at CAPS where anytime between 8:30 and 4 p.m. People can walk in and be seen by our consultant on duty. So we basically rotate that role as consultant on duty, and there's always someone available. So if at any point any one of us should, become distressed about something and feel a need to talk, we are able to provide that service. Often what will come out of that is also the possibility of a referral to something more ongoing, because at this stage in the game anyway, we are not able to offer the ongoing counseling services. I think maybe in the past we might have been able to do that. We may have at one point even done EAP work, but at this point we're just, we are, as Dr. Couture said, very much a growing campus, and with that growing campus comes growing student need. And our services are funded primarily by student fees. So that is the reason why we're not as able to provide those services to you all. But I really want to stress that that is a service available to you. Over the years, I have seen people in my capacity and been able to make a referral. So do consider that. Anytime, Monday through Friday, between 8:30 and 4 p.m., you would be able to be seen by one of our staff therapists. The second thing on this list is the Employee Assistance Program. So even though we don't actually provide that service anymore, we do point you to the EAP, 3 free services, and that is, well, court can correct me if I'm wrong, but that is for both staff and their family members. And I also believe that sometimes that can be offered more than once if the purpose of the request is different. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah, so kind of, sort of. So that would be something to look at. We, on our website, oops, that's actually, let me see if I can find the right, sorry. I was going to try to pull up this page here. Okay, so this page on our website has all of this posted as well in terms of what we can offer to faculty and staff. And on there is a quick link to the EAP service. It'll take you to the HR page and explain how you would access that service. But one of the things that we can also do is, let's say that you decide to use the EAP, you have your 3 free sessions, and then you're kind of like, now what? We can also assist with a referral. You're welcome to call to call to speak to the COD or to walk in to speak to the COD. If you are interested in a referral to someone in the community, we keep a pretty extensive list of, of providers in the community that we could also help. Try to find the person that might be, best suited to your particular needs. So that's another thing that we can do. Now, the third thing here is our liaisons. So each of us are assigned to be a personal liaison to various departments. That could be a college on campus. It could be, some of the different departments. It could also be to a student organization. And that person is really tasked with helping to kind of bridge the gap a little bit between CAPS and the larger campus community, and particularly, your particular department or college. And so one of the ways that we can help is, let's say you have a student in your office, and that student is crying profusely about a loss in their family, worrying about, failing a class, and you can see that that student is in a lot of distress. You can feel free to call us. We will be more than happy to consult over the phone with you. We also encourage you to walk that student over to CAPS, during our daytime hours that I mentioned before, and they can also then meet with the consultant on duty. The liaison can also be helpful. I'm going to be careful here because we have a way online for you to request outreach kinds of workshops and trainings. But sometimes if you have a good relationship with your liaison at CAPS, you may want to call them first and just sort of say, hey, we're thinking about inviting someone from CAPS to come, and that's fine. We would still, advise you to go ahead and do the formal request online for that outreach. But again, I think that, speaking for myself, if one of my liaisons from a college or department wanted a particular kind of outreach that I could do and had the time to do, I would probably try to offer that. So, you can feel free to kind of check with your personal liaison if there is something along that nature. And that would include things like our QPR workshops. Has anyone taken one of those yet? Okay, question, persuade, and refer. It's kind of a suicide prevention outreach that we do, and we now offer that once a month, I believe. So is that right, Tanya? Once a month. So that's the liaison. Now, this next program is one that I am very fond of. I happen to coordinate it at the moment, and it is called the Let's Talk program. And again, it is largely there for students. Basically what we do is we have staff sit for 2 hours at currently 4 different sites on campus, Monday through Thursday. We're hoping to expand it next semester to 5. Monday through Friday. And that's a really informal drop-in kind of thing. You just come by. If the door is closed, it's not going to be closed for terribly long. Those meetings rarely go more than probably 20, 25 minutes. But there's no appointment necessary, there are no fees charged, and that is also available to you. And, occasionally someone does use it in that way. So feel free, that's another way if you are just needing a little consultation around a particular issue that may have to do a little bit with mental health, or a concern you have about a student that has a mental health issue, you can feel free to stop by Let's Talk as well. It is available to you. And then I did mention the QPR. It's only one of our many workshops and trainings that we can offer. So feel free to check with us about the various kinds of things we do. We would be happy to present a workshop or training to any of your colleges and departments. So feel free to ask for that as well. And then last but not least, occasionally it happens that there is some kind of a tragedy on campus. And that can sometimes be among staff, that could be a student, but that kind of rocks the boat for everybody. It's a really, really difficult time for us as a university, and for sure for anybody who is fairly close to the event. So one of the things that we can do is we can also, one of our staff can go out and meet to kind of debrief with the people who are impacted by that event. So that is something you shouldn't hesitate to ask. It could be that a death of a colleague. It could be, unfortunately, occasionally it might be the suicide of a student. And we are available to come out and talk with staff about, just the impact that that's having and ways to kind of take care of yourself. So I like to think of CAPS as kind of, when Dr. Couture talked about compassion, we're kind of like the compassionate heart of the campus. I mean, we are really, really concerned about mental health, about people's well-being, and that is extended, very much to staff as well. So that is the nutshell description of what we do for staff and faculty, but I would be happy to entertain questions if you have any questions. Anybody? Is it available to you?
Well, looking at it, could I feel as though, like, which of those providers take our insurance?
Okay, there are two parts to that. So let me first, I'm going to see. Okay, so on the website here, there is a quick link to referrals. And this is a pretty long list of referrals for a lot of different kinds of things. You can see here, I hope you can see here, substance use treatment services, autism spectrum, and then down here there's counseling and psychotherapy services. So on this particular list, most of what is listed here are going to be agencies, mental health agencies, all right? So some of them do take insurance, some take some insurance and not others, and so you would really probably have to check with the agencies themselves to find that out. However, if you were to come in or to call about a referral, we also keep an extensive list of referrals ourselves, and on that list, one of my colleagues who manages that list is also careful to put down, if the therapist has said, yes, I'm on these particular insurance plans, then we would be able to give you that. But probably the best and most direct way to find out is just to go to the actual, in this case, Blue Cross Blue Shield website. And I think you can put in like 5 miles, 10 miles, you can put a distance, and then it's going to give you therapists in your area who are on your plan. Okay. And when I say that we can assist with referral, I just want to make sure people understand that that doesn't mean that any of these therapists are particularly vetted. It's not like I can say, hey, I went to that therapist and she was great. It's not like that. But what we do is my colleague, Dr. Molbach, he manages that, and he does actually have a fairly extensive phone interview that he does particularly with these private providers, to find out, what are their areas of expertise, and we also ask them to discount a little bit for our UH students because therapy is expensive, especially if you don't have insurance. And so, there is a process that we go through before they're invited to be on our list. Okay. Did that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I just wanted to wrap up with something that it's just kind of stuck with me. The very first year that I started working here, I thought, how can I get to know UH? So every morning, the first thing I do, I'm always an early arriver. It's just, I got to ease into my day. So I started looking at the website, the UH website, just the front page, what's on there. And one of the things that I came across early on was a distinction that UH got. At one point, I do not remember the publication, but it said that our students were in the top 50, that our college, our university, was in the top 50 nationwide for student preparedness for their work lives. And I think that is huge, and I think we just need to understand that that's really the end game here, Getting education, having more knowledge, that's a beautiful thing, and that's even an end in itself. But at the end of the day, students want to leave here and be able to go out and build their lives, their work lives from then on. And so I thought that's just something to keep in mind anytime that we are feeling kind of crabby and feeling a little like, oh, I wish this or I wish that. Remember that our students are really well prepared. We do a really, really good job. And I would like to say that CAPS is a part of that. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
So now we have Breon Rollins coming up. All right. It's coming.
Okay. Good afternoon. As usual, thank you again, Staff Council, for inviting Human Resources to speak to the group today. But for those of you who haven't met, my name is Breon Rollins. For those of you on the live stream, I'm the Manager of Benefits and Wellness here at the University of Houston. And today, we wanted to talk to you about a new offering that we'll have on June 1st. But prior to that, I wanted to address just a few of the things that President Couture mentioned, just to make sure that we give you all some detail initiative that she mentioned. So the first part, she talked about your ideas and things that you all are doing that may be innovative or that you would like to support the campus with. And within human resources, as well as in conjunction with staff council, if you recall on Ruben's slide, he had an engagement committee. We're partnering together now to get some details on how we can work on engaging the campus, engaging the workforce, on getting ideas that you all might find interesting to make sure that we can get those details about how your work environment is going, get details of how we can bring us all closer together, and of course bring that caring and compassionate campus that President Couture mentioned. She also mentioned FIT. One of the things related to FIT as well that we wanted to address, of course, we've got the Power Up Wellness program that Courtney Stein is the manager of, but we also have been doing some things in conjunction with the rec center. There's yoga at the ERP that happens weekly. We've been doing Zumba, where we have a volunteer who comes out, and gracefully, she's from our staff, where she works with you all on Mondays and Wednesday nights. And then we also just might, get Ruben to do a hip-hop dance class for us as well, where he would also do some type of work with us as well. In addition to that, one of the questions talked about the culture and how we want to ingrain wellness into the culture of the university. Just so you all know, we participate with the Partnership of Healthy America. We're one of the few institutions that have that designation, and we're working towards our 3-year goal. We're adding some details. One of the few things that we've been doing behind the scenes is we've looked at every vending machine on campus to see, are we meeting requirements to make sure that we have healthy options that would be available to the staff and faculty on campus. And we also are working at what does our campus look like as it relates to walking? How could we map out some trails? How could we make sure that individuals can know to and from where, how many steps we've gotten other than just using your Apple Watch or Fitbit? So you'll see some more information coming down the pipeline on that also. And then lastly, I want to address the caring piece that she mentioned. And that's the benefit that I'm going to talk about today, Bright Horizons. And as you see in the name, it's called Care Advantage. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about is a new program, and again, that'll be addressed, and it'll be launched for you all on June 1st. So the program that I wanted to talk to you all about today is for backup child and adult elder care. So how this program would work, we know that there are situations that happen. Whether you're caring for an aging parent or you have children of school age that are going to a daycare or some aftercare program, we know that you have needs that are sometimes planned and unplanned. So the way the backup care program would work is that if you have planned needs for up to 30 days out in advance, you would be able to plan, let's say, for instance, you know that your son or daughter's school will be closed 10 days from now, but there's a university event that you're unable to miss. You could plan a backup care if you don't have a child care provider already available. Or let's say you have an emergency situation where you have what we would consider a mildly ill child, or something that just happens to come up where you're no longer able to find care or your normal care provider is not available. You could use this backup care program for both planned and unplanned needs. So let me give you some details on how that'll work. And of course, you all may have some questions. I think I've got about 10 minutes, so I want to make sure that I get through the presentation, then I'll stop and take some of those questions as well. Now, how the program works is three-pronged. For the children, you've got what's called center-based care, where you can actually, if you have an issue where there's an emergency situation or a planned situation, you could have your child go to a child care center and they could be cared for there. All centers are background checked, licensed, and accredited. There's CPR and first aid. So it would be similar to what you would have now. Let's say you have a child that goes to a center. You would be able to continue that same level of resource that you would have with that in an in-care center facility. We also have the in-home care as well. How the in-home care would work, there's a nationwide network of 200,000 caregivers. Those caregivers are also in the Houston metro as well. There's a comprehensive background check. We employ their own caregivers, so it's not something the University of Houston is doing. This is from Bright Horizons, so they're able to vet, sort out, get the details on what the caregiver would be for that need, and they could come actually in-home. And there's some differences between the in-center and the in-home care. Oh, I'm sorry if you weren't able to see the slides. And the last piece would be for the adult care. Now, the adult care does not have a center component. That component would only be in-home, and that would be care for yourself, spouse or partner, adult children, parents and in-laws, and grandparents. So we know a lot of you may be in a situation, or a number of you may be in a situation where you care for an aging parent or maybe in a situation where you need care yourself, you could take advantage of this benefit as it relates to that as well, and we'll talk to you about how those details work. Some of the activities that may be available for that, like it talks about minor chores, meal preparation, personal care services, et cetera. So there's details around that also that you would be able to use to your advantage as well. Now, what you'll be able to do on June 1st, you'll be able to go out and register to our account. The website will be www.careadvantage.com/UH. We have a username, which will be UH and Care for You. So I'll tell you now, don't go try to use that URL. It's not up yet. We're still in the process of vetting all the details to make sure that we work out all the kinks prior to June 1st. But there'll also be a 24/7 number that you can use as well, and that number will be 877-BH Cares, which is 242-2737. So you'll be able to call that number 24/7. So let's say you know it's 2 a.m., there's something happening where you'll have a mildly ill child, you'll be able to call that number to be able to schedule care for your in-home or schedule a place where you know you're going to drop your child off at a care center. You can register in advance. When you register, there is no cost. There's no commitment when you register as well. That's an opportunity for you to already have a profile set up. You can put in the individuals who may need care, including yourself, into this profile, so when the time comes, you already have that readily available for you. Now, there are some details that I want to provide to you, and I'll make sure that you have some handouts, et cetera, as we continue to launch the program before June 1st. You have 10 days per use for the calendar year. Now, there is a difference in cost on the copay, so think of this as using insurance, where at the point of service you would have a copay that you'll be required to pay. If you were using a center for yourself or your family, that's $15 per child, or if you have more than one child, that comes for a maximum of 3, that would be $25, okay? If it was in-home that you were interested in, you would rather have a care provider come to the house yourself, you are looking at $6 per hour for up to 3 care recipients, so the same thing as the in-center, but now they're coming to the house, and that is a 4-hour minimum there. So you're looking at $6 per hour as it relates to in-home. So typically, you won't be able to find a child care provider for about that same cost, the same day of a center. So what we've tried to do is make sure that that wasn't cost prohibitive for individuals to use that benefit here on campus. And again, 10 days of use, we feel like that should cover almost any planned service as well as any emergency service as well. Now, there's also a mobile profile. We know in Human Resources, we are doing what we can often to update our technology. Bright Horizons is doing this as well. So I can't go anywhere without my phone. I see people taking pictures of the screen here today. So you'll have a mobile app that'll be available to you all as well. The mobile app will allow you to have that on the go. We know you're not always in front of a computer. We know you're not always in front of a browser. This will give you the opportunity to have those details in front of you in a computer as well, and you'll be able to manage those details as you move forward also. One of the last few things I want to talk about are some additional family support. In addition to the backup care and the elder care program, there are a few additional family support items that we have as a part of our benefit as well. So we mentioned the center-based care and the in-home care, but there's also a pet care for our four-legged friends. We also have housekeeping services that you can vet and source. Similar to a Angie's List, you'll be able to go out and get information, sort, and find and see if you can find a housekeeping. And then we also have elder care planning and support. Some of you may be in a situation, for instance, you have that one-time need where you use the backup care program for elder care, but there may be a long-term need that you all are considering or looking at or trying to do family planning as it relates. The Bright Horizons program can assist you with that as well, where you can work with individuals that can help you with long-term planning or facilities, things in your home, making sure that you have all those details set up as well. And lastly, there's also tutoring, test prep, and homework help that you can log into as well. If you've got kids of teenage age where they're studying for an SAT, studying for the ACT, there's details that you can support, discounts as it relates to that program as well. Okay? And lastly, before I take a few questions, we also offer a bi-monthly webinar series that'll be included with this. So always, Human Resources, we're trying to offer as many pieces of information as you all can to arm yourselves, whether that's we're talking about financial wellness, we're talking about EAP, and then with this here, the Family Matters piece, this will give you some details as it relates to how you can take best advantage of your Bright Horizons program, but also just give you additional details moving forward on best ways to manage incidents that may happen in the home, mildly ill children, et cetera. Okay? So this will be on our website next Friday, and then June 1st, you'll be able to start your registration and be able to access the services as well as set up your usernames and profile. But of course, you can always reach out to any of us in Human Resources to get additional details about that. So I think I've still got some time for a few questions. Yeah, I see one in the back. Yeah, great question. So we had a question in the back that the 10 visits would be under the university's agreement. Would I be able to use this service outside of the university agreement? You can. There is a rate that we are still looking at now. We don't have the exact detail, but it wouldn't be at that same copay based. What you would do is you would pay more of a market rate as it related to what Bright Horizons offers, and we'll have all those details ahead of the June 1st date as well. But you can still use the service after those 10 visits, but the 10 visits would be under the agreed upon rate that the university has under that copay base. Good question. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, this has no impact on your insurance. It's not included with ERS or Blue Cross Blue Shield. This is a benefit under, as the president mentioned and what Joan was mentioning earlier, under the Caring and Compassionate University. So that copay is the only fee that you would see.
And if we do not have a need for any of these services, can we give our 10 days to some sort of pool?
We are unable to do that. We provide a enrollment fee to the agency, and that keeps those 10 services directly with the individuals who are a part of that fee. So we wouldn't be able to gift those services to other individuals. And the way we came up with 10, just to give you an idea, we did market data as it related to other institutions, not only in the city of Houston, but also across the country. And about 10 was what the data identified as that you would use as emergency service. Anything out of that is typically more long-term, and you wouldn't consider it more of an emergency. It'd be something that you would look at more of a care situation that needs more long-term care versus just an emergency situation. Yes, please.
How do they determine who would be in your household? How is that determined? First one, and two, how is the program funded?
So we got a question around how do they determine who's in your household. As I mentioned before on one of the previous slides, all of the caregivers are vetted through their service. You actually can select who's in your household. What you'll see is a profile, like I mentioned, very similar to Angie's List or a Home Advisor. You'll get to see the individuals, see their years of service, and you can make that decision. You can even have conversations with those individuals prior, but they've done all the pre-work on who's involved in their network.
How do they know that these children are
Oh, well, we send this is kind of a scenario where we can't control who says who's dependent and who's not. We're not going to be asking for census data. Hopefully, if someone is using the benefit, that they would honor that the institution is making a commitment to them and use the benefit in the way that we would like it to be used. Oh, so this is funded through part from what's happening on the institution, the Caring and Compassionate Committee. There are some details around that, but I'll defer to Joan on that, and we can get you some details as that we move on with that. I don't have the exact dollar, but we can get that detail to him. I don't have it right now in front of me. We can get that detail for you as well. Good question, though. Yes?
And I was just wondering if there was maybe some outlook on how to make that process less cumbersome as far as having to go to your doctor, get an excuse, come back, and then do the TRAM component and the approval components. For support staff, it may be a little bit cumbersome in doing all that process just to walk for approximately 30 minutes a day, if possibly 3 times a week.
No, that's a great question. So I want to make sure that I clarify the 2 programs. So one is fitness time release, and the other is the wellness leave. So I think you kind of weave the 2 together, but we can talk about that just for one moment. So the wellness leave is where it would be you can have the full day or the hours during today to have your physical. Once you've done that, you can go out for your medical appointments, et cetera. That's the wellness leave. The fitness time release, that's where you would fill out the information online, the personal health assessment, which would be separate. So we're not requiring you to get those details in court, correct me if I'm wrong. Through the fitness time release, you would fill out that information with you and your supervisor. You would fill out the health assessment through the Health Selective Texas website. So I think you've kind of combined those two programs.
I did have to go online to fill out a form to take to my doctor to have that cleared to walk. But then I'm talking about the whole process of clocking in and out on tram,
Okay,
requesting
tram piece.
those type things. Are we going to look at a way to make that more efficient and less cumbersome?
Yeah, so, and I'll defer to court on as far as the tram piece is concerned.
So great question, thank you. So it is kind of confusing because the wellness leave and the fitness release time are combined in one policy, but they're two separate programs, and you're correct in how they work. We have been looking at the process for fitness release time. Wellness leave will probably stay the same. For those of you who are not familiar with wellness leave, if you go and get an annual physical once a year and you complete a health risk assessment online and you submit those two forms, then we are able to award you 8 hours fitness leave, wellness leave, that you can use however you desire. So what does that mean? That means you have to take time off to go get your physical, right? So you'd probably take a sick day. But then the flip side of that is you get a full day later to attach onto your vacation if that's what you want to use it for, whatever the case may be, and you have that 8 hours as a reward for having done those two things. But the process for the fitness release time is an application that you have to fill out and then a physical readiness form that we ask you to fill out. So to make a long answer short, we are looking at the process. It is a little bit tedious. We're hoping we can find some ways to make that easier so that people can use that more readily. We've seen a lot of increased interest in fitness release time, and we certainly want to support that ongoing and build that. So we are looking at it. Thank you.
Good question. Thank you. Any others? Yeah. Yeah, for center-based, she asked what the age range for the child care component. For center-based care, that would end at age 13. But they still would be eligible for the in-home component because adults are even eligible for the in-home component. But to drop a child at a center, that age range would be to age 13. Yeah.
How is HR available for us to be able to ask our individual questions over the next couple of weeks before enrollment starts?
Yeah, we're always available in 325 McElhaney. We're open from 7:30 to 5 p.m. in the HR Service Center. I sit right in front of the HR Service Center as well, so you can always use me as a resource. And we're just in McElhaney at 325 McElhaney. All right, and thank you again for your time. We appreciate you all allowing us to come present the new benefit to you all as well. Thank you.
So we have a few more. We have Andy coming up to talk to you about one program that is going. We're going to do as well. Then we're going to do our drawing as well. So Andy Moon, you're up, sir.
Thank you, Ruben. I have been admonished to make this quick, so I'm going to do so. We are going to have Take Your Child to Work Day again this year. It's going to be on June 8th. We have 4 different areas participating. And you got an email about that while you were sitting here in this meeting. If you'd like to sign your child up, please do. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me or email me, instant message me, anything you like. I'm pretty available. Yes, please. I am unaware of any current plans to have a Take Your Pet to Work Day, although I do understand that lots of people bring their pets on a pretty regular basis, and I would work that out with your supervisor as far as whether they would allow your pet in your office. Allergy, yes, allergies will certainly be a concern. Other questions? All right, was that quick enough, Maggie? Awesome. Not on the microphone. I'll just repeat the question. Go ahead. Okay, the concern is that there's no space for the first child's name. I'll have that change made to the form before we leave here today. Other questions? Great. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Andy. All right, before I get into y'all trying to win something, I just want to give you 3 dates that are coming up for, because we are talking about e-performance and trying to figure out how we're going to get our merit and all that stuff. So we have 3 informational sessions that's coming up as a discussion sessions around e-performance. The first one is May 29th. It's going to be right here. All 3 sessions will be here. We are working on a date and time for the second, third shift staff on campus. So we're working on that to try to figure out what day and time that will be. But right now, we have May 29th, June 22nd, and July 13th, 11 to 12, here in this room to discuss on how e-performance goes, how the goals, how goals work, and how to be able to discuss with your manager on those goals and competencies and stuff like that. So those 3 are coming up very soon. So if you can make those, that'd be great if you have any questions about e-performance. And then again, we will be sending out a day and time for those second and third shift staff on campus as well. All right? Okay, so I know, yes, ma'am. Nope, you're fine.
There was an exchange that happened up here at the beginning about the staff tuition benefit. Was there an update on that? Is there something about that people like me who are in class might want to know?
Staff tuition benefit, not right now. I could say with the program that just happened, they were looking into how they're going to do that staff tuition benefit, if they're going to increase it, or when they talk about that 100%, if that is something that's being looked into, if that will be a benefit for staff, because we want to do retention and recruitment. So that would be a way to get good staff and keep good staff, keep all you here instead of going somewhere else. That might be a possible thing that what you do, you get paid, your tuition may be paid for. But right now, it's just how it is.
Was that survey sent just to students, or was it sent to all staff?
That staff tuition.
So I am a student, so I received a survey about, would it be a benefit if we paid for all of your schooling?
That went to staff. It went to staff, not students. Well, I mean, yeah, but since it went to staff only. That was to staff only, yeah. It went to students too?
That's what I'm saying. I think it only went to staff who were in the program, and it would probably be beneficial to send it to all staff, because one of the questions is, would you work here, and would you use this benefit if it was 100%?
Oh,
And I
well.
imagine there's people who are on staff who are not in the program because it doesn't pay for a lot of it.
Okay.
Probably send it to everyone.
All right, well, I will pass out along because, okay. Yeah, I didn't get, some staff got it, some staff may not. So, yes, so I will definitely suggest to have that put out there. So, thank you.
I imagine that's the reason a lot of people don't enroll is because of the benefit. So if it only went to people that are enrolled, it's a very biased system.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we will look into that. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Appreciate it. See, that's why we're here. We got to get that information. So there are several prizes that we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of them you will not be able to get, so just make sure that you go to Christine if you are one that won that one, and she's right here. And then she'll take your name down and we'll figure out how you could get your prize. So my lucky bag here, wonderful bag. And so I'm going to pick out a few here, unless Andy wants to. So pick one, and he's going to let you know the numbers. And the first prize is 2 training sessions at the Campus Recreation Center. And you will come see me about that, and then I'll get you on the way of what to do.
The last 4 digits are 7956. Yay, we have a winner.
Okay. All right, the next, so this one, these next 3, you have to go see Christine and get your, if you could give her your name and stuff. So the first one is a large red Nike polo. These are a few items that came from athletics. So a large red Nike polo, or not, that one's not athletics, that's bookstore, right? Nike, polo, athletics, okay.
All right.
Polo shirt.
Polo shirt. For those of you that do not have enough red in your closet, 7944. Hey, hey.
All right. The next one is a UH Athletics T-shirt.
7912.
Come on.
7912. Going once.
Twice.
Going twice.
Go.
The next number will be 7913. That's weird.
All right.
We have a winner.
So that's the UH Athletics T-shirt. And the next one is a baseball mug, UH Athletics baseball mug. Ooh.
Let's mix those up
All
since
you
those
coffee
are sequential
drinkers.
numbers. There we go. All right, let's try 7915. I mixed them up, I swear. No 7915?
The bag is the bag.
It must be the bag. There we go. Let's try to do that a little bit more. Try to get one that's not within two numbers of that one. There we go, 7926. Hey,
All
there
right.
we go.
So you get your mug.
You get your mug.
All right, and then two more.
Dos
Two more.
más.
And these are 2 Barnes & Noble's gift cards.
Barnes
Worth
Noble's gift cards.
$25 each.
$25. 7906.
Wait, 25
Oh,
each,
that's
right?
Tanya.
Okay, yeah. That's right, yes. All right, here, you can come get it. We have this one.
Come on down. All right. Yeah,
sure
sad to
card
say
is in
Drew
there.
Carey is a little bit skinnier than I am these days. Here we go. Oh, those numbers are upside down. There we go. 7949.
Oh, you still got a chance.
949 going once.
She was
Twice.
like, yes, no one can.
I can see the excitement in the crowd. It's beautiful. All right, let's try 7901. Oh my God! All right, is that all of your?
That's it.
All
That's
right.
it. So again, thank you for coming out to Staff Focus. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything, please come see us or email. So thank you all and have a good rest of your day. No, you can. Your spot is your spot. Yeah, you go get your. Well, you go.